WrestlePalooza 2025 turned into one of the most unforgettable nights in recent WWE history, and perhaps the most violent one in years, when the Vision collided with the Usos in a bloody, emotional, and high-stakes tag team grudge match. Wrestling fans across the globe had been waiting months for this clash, and what unfolded inside the squared circle was nothing short of brutal storytelling, athletic carnage, and an atmosphere that felt larger than life. This was not just a wrestling match. This was a culmination of months of betrayals, verbal warfare, and explosive encounters that set the stage for one of the most vicious tag team matches WWE has produced in the modern era. The rivalry that shook WWE, the story behind the Vision versus the Usos did not begin at WrestlePalooza, it began long before. The Usos, one of the most decorated and respected tag teams in WWE history, had seen their dominance challenged repeatedly. But when the Vision, an ambitious, ruthless, and unapologetically cunning duo, arrived on the scene, they didn't just want victories, they wanted to make a statement at the expense of the very team that helped redefine WWE's tag team division. Week after week, the Vision targeted the Usos both physically and verbally. They interfered in matches, attacked them backstage, and even mocked the family legacy of the bloodline, something that cut deep for Jey and Jimmy Uso. Every insult and every ambush built the tension higher, and by the time WrestlePalooza came around, the rivalry had transformed from competitive to personal. This wasn't about championships or rankings anymore. This was about respect, pride, and survival. The atmosphere at WrestlePalooza, the crowd inside the packed arena knew they were about to witness something special. Chants for the Usos echoed loudly, but the Vision's confidence and swagger only fueled the intensity. Fans held up signs reading, "Blood for blood," and "Respect the Usos," while others surprisingly cheered for the Vision's merciless approach, proving that the WWE Universe was divided on who should walk out victorious. The stage was set with dramatic lighting, pyrotechnics, and an entrance presentation fitting for a main event-level grudge match. The Usos came out with fire in their eyes, determined to defend their name and honor. The Vision, however, carried themselves like predators, calm, calculated, and ready to spill blood if necessary. The match begins. From the opening bell, it was chaos. The Usos stormed the ring with a flurry of punches, superkicks, and explosive tag team combinations. The Vision, known for their tactical mind games, regrouped quickly and dragged the match into their territory, slowing the pace, isolating one USO, and using underhanded tactics to take control. It didn't take long for the blood to flow. A steel chair introduced early in the match opened a deep cut on Jimmy Uso's forehead, and the crimson mask he wore for most of the fight symbolized just how savage the encounter had become. The Vision showed no remorse, repeatedly targeting the injured USO with brutal strikes, slams, and relentless trash talk. But the Usos were not going to quit. They had survived wars with the New Day, the Bar, the Wyatt family, and many others. They fought back with resilience, bringing the crowd to its feet multiple times with near falls, superkicks, and even a breathtaking USO splash that nearly ended the match. Blood, brutality, and high drama. What made this match unforgettable wasn't just the wrestling moves, it was the drama. Every moment felt like life or death for these teams. When the Vision locked Jey Uso into a submission while Jimmy struggled to crawl across the ring, the tension was unbearable. When Jey broke free and hit a desperate Samoan drop, the crowd erupted in relief. Weapons became a key factor. Tables shattered, kendo sticks splintered, and the steel steps were used as weapons of destruction. The Vision's brutality pushed the Usos to their limits, but the Samoan warriors refused to stay down. At one point, both teams were laid out on the mat, bloodied, battered, and exhausted. The referee considered stopping the match, but both teams insisted on continuing. The visual of four men fighting through blood and broken bodies created an image that fans will remember for years to come. The turning point. The final stretch of the match was a masterclass in suspense. After surviving a double superkick and an USO splash, the Vision regrouped with shocking resilience. They countered the Usos' next attack with a devastating double-team maneuver that drove Jimmy through a table. With Jimmy incapacitated, Jey Uso was left alone. He fought bravely, unleashing one last flurry of offense, but the Vision executed their deadly finisher, a move that combined raw power and precision, to finally put Jey down for the 3 count. The bell rang. The Vision stood tall, blood on their hands and sweat dripping from their bodies. The crowd was stunned into silence before a mixture of boos and reluctant cheers echoed through the arena. Aftermath and shockwaves. The Vision had done the unthinkable. They defeated the Usos on the grand stage of Wrestlepalooza in a match that was more of a war than a wrestling contest. While the Usos were carried out by medical personnel, the message was clear: the Vision had arrived as one of WWE's most dangerous and dominant teams. Social media exploded immediately after the match. Hashtags like #WrestlePalooza, #TheVision, and #Usos trended worldwide. Fans debated whether the Vision went too far or if the Usos underestimated their challengers. Analysts called it one of the bloodiest tag team matches in modern WWE history, while legends of the business praised both teams for their performance and heart. What's next for both teams? The Vision's victory cements them as a legitimate powerhouse in WWE's tag team division. Their rise is undeniable, and now every other team must prepare for their ruthless style. The Usos, meanwhile, are left with questions. Will they regroup and seek revenge? Or is this loss a sign that their dominance is finally slipping away? One thing is certain: this rivalry is far from over. Legacy of the match. In the long history of WWE, certain matches are remembered not for titles won but for the sheer emotion and brutality they delivered. This bloody grudge match between the Vision and the Usos at WrestlePalooza belongs in that category. It was more than just wrestling, it was a war of pride, family, and the hunger for supremacy. Both teams left pieces of themselves in the ring, and while the Vision stood victorious, the Usos earned the respect of everyone watching for refusing to surrender.